Hello and good morning, folks. How are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are doing well. Obviously, so today, of course, we're breaking down Florida Classic, talking about all of it and stuff. Meant to start this at 10 a.m. on the dot, but started it at what 10:15. So I guess we're doing all right. It's a little hectic this morning and stuff, trying to get organized and everything before heading over to Orlando. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into it. Let's run the intro first. So, of course, as you know, we're going to talk about players to watch, keys to victory, everything such as that. What did Willie Simmons say about as far as this game goes this week? What did we think of the Lincoln game? We didn't react to it last week, so because we didn't have time. But at the same time as well, too, score prediction, all that stuff, your thoughts for those of you that are watching and everything. If you're on your way to Orlando right now, have a safe drive getting over there and everything such as that as well too. The race in the SWAC West, we're going to preview that and why that still has not been won in the scenarios for the SWAC West, of course, and for the SWAC Championship. So all that coming up after the intro. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be a fun one this morning. We got you. Don't worry. Get comfy. Let's go. All right, so let's dive right into it. So first and foremost, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the amount of recruits that this who's list of recruits that's coming to this game tomorrow for Florida Classic. So as it follows, it's basically a couple of nationally ranked prospects. Dallas Wilson, 2025 number five, like 5-star wide receiver. Rakeem Stroud, who is 2025 4-star defensive back. Tarek McCant, 2024 4-star running back. Booker Pickett Jr., 2024 4-star edge rusher. Javion Hilton, 2025 4-star edge rusher. Gregory Smith III, 2024 3-star athlete. Arquise Parks, 2024 3-star wide receiver. Jameson Young, who is a 2024 3-star DB. Rod Gainey Jr., who's a 2024 3-star running back. Tamez Young, who's a 2025 3-star tight end. James Chenault, who's a 2024 3-star defensive back. Josh Alexander Felton, 2024 3-star offensive lineman. James Little IV, 2025 3-star DB. Laverius McCullough, who's a 2024 3-star defensive lineman. And then Adrian Bryant, 2025 safety, all coming to the Florida Classic as prospects since FAMU is the home team for this game. As well, too, the nation's number 5 overall 2024 defensive back Kai Bates has also been added to the recruiting list of recruits that are showing up to the Florida Classic for FAMU. So a who's who list of recruits coming to the Florida Classic this weekend after he recently just decommitted from LSU. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, this is getting exciting now. So with that being said, now we can go ahead and dive right into it. So as far as last week goes, FAMU shut out Lincoln. Defense got their first shutout of the season, 28-0 in a win that honestly I don't think any of us really watched much of the tape of. If we did, we watched it briefly. So as stated last week, FAMU is set to host their first postseason home game since 1998. And at the same time, too, so Willie Simmons stated earlier this week in his pregame presser on Monday, this is the last goal before winning a SWAC championship, and we want to check all the boxes. And then he also stated, you never know what rabbit will get pulled out of the hat. So, last year you had the Xavier Smith to Musa touchdown pass, and then you also had the fake punt that was converted successfully to Kobe Gross, and then Kobe Gross went in for a touchdown afterwards. So you never know what you might get from Willie Simmons in a game like this, and then you think about 2021, that amazing third quarter where FAMU just outright pulled away and imposed their will in Bethune and just dominated and ended 9 years of misery. As well, too, Willie Simmons also said, it's great to see guys that are in the league. He said this on his coaching show, actually. It's great to see guys that are in the league and guys that aren't playing still doing well and have families. So I think that's a testament to the program that he's built. And he even mentioned, like that's his ministry that he's been called to do. So that's a huge bonus. He said we needed that game as well. He also said this: we needed that game last week. We got a chance to nurse some guys through injuries and rest some guys. I think everyone will be ready to dress Saturday. And then you also had Lovey Jenkins. Oh, no, my bad. That was from last week. So also, too, they held Lincoln to 32 yards rushing, which is a good sign going into a game against a team that wants to run the football. So, as we already stated, FAMU is ranked 7th in the country in the AFCA Top 25 FCS Coaches Poll, Coaches Poll. This is their highest ranking going into the Florida Classic since 1998, when FAMU came into the Florida Classic ranked 4th in the country. At the time, FAMU has not been any higher going into a Florida Classic since. I believe last year they were 23rd, 24th, somewhere between 23 and 25. And then you had 2019 where they came in, they were like 12th or 13th in the country, but still lost. So, this is the highest ranking that a team's ever had coming into this game since 98. As well, too, 236 yards of total offense, 95 passing, 141 rushing. This defense currently ranks 5th in the FCS. Anthony Dunn, who I'm sure is still 8th in the FCS in sacks currently. And then 10 penalties for 103 yards last week against Lincoln. That's a little misleading because you had guys that, even Willie Simmons mentioned it too, guys that played that I think didn't play with urgency. And some guys probably didn't make the most of their opportunity to, make plays. But again, they're young guys that will learn and eventually find their way. So I wouldn't worry too much. As far as players to watch goes, Musa on the season, because he didn't play last week, 2,266 yards, 18 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions this season, down 3 from last year. And I think he'll get through the regular season with single-digit interceptions this year. So, because I think minimum he'll throw tomorrow is hopefully none, but at the most I anticipate he'll probably only toss 2. But I don't think he'll throw any tomorrow. Terrell Jennings last week, 8 carries, 53 yards. Jamari Shareed, 1 rush for 9 yards. Not that much involved. Marcus Riley didn't even play. And then, of course, players to watch, because I'm going to be real. This is probably on my part. I did not watch or look at defensive stats from last week because I just didn't even bother. So I just went with players to watch for defense. Isaiah Major, of course, the alpha in the middle of this defense. Anthony Dunn off the edge. Kendall Bowler in the secondary, and you can even possibly even add Javon Morgan, who's manning the back end of the secondary as well. Now, what challenge does this defense still need to answer for this weekend? Honestly speaking, they've done everything that they need to do. I think really you just, at this point, if you ask me, a multiple interception game with touchdowns, with multiple TDs on defense would be the next best thing for me. I honestly, I've been clamoring for, I'm waiting for a game where we have 3 defensive touchdowns. 3. Sounds a little far-fetched, but I feel it is attainable. Especially against a team like this, if you force them to pass it, you can definitely make do with what you have. How does Musa get worked into a rhythm? Take what the defense gives you. I actually had it right here. So one thing that I also listened to Willie Simmons mention as far as Bethune's defense and working Musa into a rhythm early. Bethune runs, from what I saw, 4-2-5. Willie Simmons also mentioned they run a 3-down lineman front at times. sometimes from what I watched watching the Valley game and watching the Southern game, sometimes nobody will be in a down position. Sometimes they'll just have everybody standing up and they'll just come with pressure. They will load the box sometimes and show a jailhouse blitz, and they will drop back those two linebackers. Also, I will say they can be stout and physical against the run. They can be, and they will do their best tomorrow. As well, too, you have to watch the reverse. Well, no, I'll get to that when I get to Bethune, but those are some things as far as Bethune's defense goes. So also, too, yeah, if y'all are watching this on YouTube, by all means, please leave a comment. Leave a comment. Give us your thoughts. But yeah, so with that being said, I think if you can control the line of scrimmage, I think you can work Moose into a flow early. And then why is it vital to stop the run? Look, Bethune wants to run the ball. They had over 400 yards rushing last week against Alabama A&M, against an Alabama A&M team that I think honestly has given up and does not care anymore and is mentally and physically just worn out and beaten right now. So I think that played a huge role in why Bethune was able to roll Alabama A&M last week. So I don't think that's going to happen this week. No. Why is it vital for the emotions to be kept in check this week? Well, here's why. Emotions need to be kept in check this week because let's say, heaven forbid, you get thrown out. You could potentially miss the first half or if not the whole game of the SWAC championship. So you have to keep the emotions in check. I know this is a rivalry. There's a lot on the line in this game. Look, we've all seen multiple Florida Classics. I've been going to these since 98. The emotions are riding high. So you have to keep them in check. You have to realize for the first time for the first time since 2001, or really since 2004, because they played Florida International in 2004, a week after the Florida Classic. But for the first time since really 2001, you're playing a game that really matters. So everybody's new to this at this point now. So you have to keep the emotions in check. You have another football game to play. So don't take the cheese if Bethune throws it out there. Do not take the cheese. Just stay disciplined. As well, too, so for Bethune, last week, of course, a win where they mollywopped Alabama A&M 31-14. Bethune does average 18 points per game according to ESPN. They like to run screens. They present with a 3-down look. They will sometimes show 4-2-5. And as I stated earlier, they will show a jailhouse blitz and drop back into coverage. They may bring it sometimes. And then here's the other interesting thing, too, to keep an eye on. I don't know how many of you saw SWAC Media Day, but if you remember, like I do, there was an instance where you had Amari Hill Robinson saying that he wanted Marcus Riley. Matchup to watch this weekend. And quite honestly, I think that something like that is something that I think this rivalry needs to put a little bit of juice back into what this rivalry used to be from like the end of the 90s and the early 2000s and in 2010. So I, for one, am actually really looking forward to seeing Marcus Riley and Amari Hill Robinson just go at it. Because I'm sure, that entire roster, they feel hurt. Thinking, you know what, Marcus Riley probably thought he was always going to be here. And then he just left us for our rival. And now he's going to possibly go play for us. He's going to go play for a SWAC championship, Celebration Bowl. We're going home after this. The sun's not coming out tomorrow. Yeah, those guys are hurt. They're pissed off. They did not like that. But apparently also, too, Willie Simmons stated in the 220 QB Club meeting Tuesday, I believe it was. It was Wednesday, saying, their starting safety played at FAMU. So there's going to be some emotions there. And there's going to be some jawing. This might be one of the more intense Florida Classics we've seen in a while. It might be. Especially the way, since also Willie Simmons stated, SWAC refs are letting people just play. And you saw how the Southern game went. It was very tense. Tomorrow could get very tense. as well too for Alabama A&M or for Bethune. 412 yards rushing against Alabama A&M. They surrendered only 130 rushing. I will say though, questionable special teams unit. 2 blocked punts against Southern that they allowed to happen. So it's a little shaky. I think if you have a chance to jump and go get a blocked punt this weekend, you got to go after it. SWAC refs are garbage. Yep, they certainly are. They certainly are. I thought NFL refs and ACC refs were crap, but SWAC refs are not dependable. So, with that being said, as well, of course, also too for Bethune, they ran a running back pass for a TD against Valley. You also have to watch the reverse pass by Tink Boyd. That was something that they ran against Valley as well. 2 penalties for 20 yards last week as well too for Bethune. That was actually pretty insane as well. I was shocked by that. I was like, what? Bethune? Of all teams? But, right now they probably feel like they're playing good football right now, and they feel pretty confident coming in. So this is a game where you have to, strike early. You have to strike often. You have to put this game away, so to say. But I know it's going to be hotly contested. Emotions only last for so long in games like these. But this is a game where you can't let these guys hang around. When it comes time to put the dagger in, you got to put the dagger in. You have to. Don't give these guys room to breathe at all. At all. So also too for Bethune, be mindful of, and they've done this for a long time, for as long as I can remember, and it goes back to when they had Alan Suber and Patel Troutman. Be mindful of a 2 QB offense. So, for instance, even when they had a Kevius Williams, they had Larry Brem. When they had, oh my goodness, well, recently they haven't done it, but that's one thing I've noticed over the years coming to this game. They will always have 2-3 QBs that they may pull out. Like, for instance, they had Jimmy Russell one year, and they had another guy another year. And then this year, of course, think about it, Luke Sprague, who I don't think will play, but you've also got Walter Simmons, who did the most damage last week against Alabama A&M. 5 of 12 passing, 30 yards total, 1 interception, so they're not a good throwing team, in my opinion. But he also had 16 carries for 165 yards, led the team in rushing, and 3 TDs. And then at the same time, too, behind him, you have Jimmy Robinson III, 25 carries, 137 yards rushing, no TDs. They will attempt to run that RPO. They will attempt. You have to cover all your bases, which means you have to have an active defensive front. So Isaiah Major, company, Johnny Chaney, Eric Horn, guys are going to have to be on their P's and Q's, and you see ball, hit ball. Or you see Walter Simmons, you see Jimmy Robinson III, you got to hit them both. Got to hit them both. Do not take a chance with that. Even if it's like a little quick pass, don't take a chance with it. And then at the same time, too, you have wide receiver Tink Boyd, who, as I stated, will be used as far as a passing play for tricks. 1 reception, 14 yards. Andrew Williams is another player to watch. And then you also have, as I stated, their ringleader in the secondary, Amari Hill Robinson. You have Thomas Dearest and Joshua Thornhill, all defensive players, all capable of making big plays. Those are your players to watch as far as Bethune goes on defense. Now, here's the one right here. So, how does Amari Hill Robinson match up with Marcus Riley? That's one that I think a lot of people are looking forward to seeing. Honestly, from what we've heard, there's been people that have said, Amari Hill Robinson does not know what he's getting himself into, because people think that Marcus Riley is going to just, cook him. I think that that's going to happen too. Amari Hill Robinson knows Marcus Riley. Marcus Riley knows Amari Hill Robinson. The beautiful thing about wide receivers is you're going in the right direction. He's going to have to backpedal at some point. And don't be surprised if these two chop it up and it gets a little ugly. They're going to come face to face. Now, I want to know is, will Raymond Woody let Amari Hill Robinson have Marcus Riley the whole game? Will he let him follow him the whole entire game? Will he press him the whole entire game? If he's smart, he probably shouldn't. If he's smart, he probably should not. I would sit back a couple times. Maybe go up there and press him a couple times, get in his face, but I wouldn't press Marcus Riley. He has the ability to just zoom right by you and go for a touchdown. Why does a non-mobile QB hurt Bethune's chances? If I'm Bethune-Cookman, look, I'm riding Walter Simmons. I am not putting Luke Sprague in there. If you put Luke Sprague in there, that plays right into FAMU's card. You really don't want a non-mobile QB back there. You saw what FAMU did to Jason Brown. The same thing is going to happen to Luke Sprague if you put him back there and let him, because he can't run. FAMU's got speed on defense with pass rushers, edge rushers, linebackers, defensive backs that'll come up and hit you off the edge. You don't put Luke Sprague in there unless you know for sure the passing lanes are open. So I'd ride Walter Simmons to the end, live and die with him. But expect a 2 QB system from Bethune, as we always have. How feisty is Bethune on defense? Again, they got a little bit of fight to them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have won 31-14 last week. They're going to come in. They're going to fight. It's going to be a dog fight. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be ugly. There's going to be a point in time in this game where it's going to be really, really close. And you're going to be like, oh, my goodness, here we go. Buckle up. But I think that will not last long either. So with that being said, I guess since the comment section is not really jumping this morning, because I know some people are probably still in bed, I'm just going to go to key to victory number 1 as follows. So key to victory number 1 is simple as far as FAMU's defense goes. Stop the run. You stop the run, you stop Bethune's offense in general, because I don't think that this offense is a good passing offense. I think they will, struggle as far as just passing the ball. They want to run the ball. They want to establish a run. They realize 400-something yards of rushing on offense last week. They want to do that again, and they're going to try to establish that. They're going to try to keep FAMU's defense off balance. It's up to FAMU to, play assignments down, eye discipline football, and slow down Bethune-Cookman's rushing attack. Key to victory number 2 is as follows. Keep your foot on the pedal offensively. Do not let up. Do not find your way out of a groove. If Musa works his way into a groove, play action passes, quick passes, things like that, or a deep shot that's there, by all means, if it's working, take it. Do not go away from it. And I say this with every quarterback FAMU has coming into the Classic. The Florida Classic record for touchdown passes is 6 in a game by Ben Doherty in 2004 in a loss. In a 58-52 loss. Is it possible that can be broken? Very much so in this era of the spread offenses. And as crazy as offenses are now, this is very much possible that this record can be broken. So can Musa go for 7 TD passes? That's a stretch. I could see at the most maybe 5 or 6 if I want to really reach. But, we'll see. We'll definitely see. And then key to victory number 3 is as follows too. Discipline. Stay disciplined. Don't take the cheese. If the thing's trying to start a fight or something, don't take the cheese. Just go back to the sideline. Next play. Don't try to bust someone's ass in between plays. Bust someone's ass during the play. That's how you do it. We're coming for a fight, but we're not coming for a physical fight. Kick their ass in between the white lines, in between those whistles. And then that's how you do your talking. And honestly, that's one thing I can say Isaiah Major's gotten better at. When you see guys start jogging, going back and forth and stuff, Isaiah Major's quickly there. This is why he's the alpha on the defense, to pull guys back, tell them go back to the huddle, go back to your side. So I think that is another factor as well. So be disciplined. You got another game to play. You're guaranteed another 60 minutes after this. I'll say it like that. And just keep on moving forward. Again, kick their ass in between the whistles. Not after. Do that, it'll work out fine. As well, too, I have an injury report for you. So Willie Simmons basically said, Musa will be active this week. Marcus Riley and Kareem Burke will also be involved in the offense. Honestly, to expect Kareem Burke to probably be the unsung hero in this Florida Classic matchup. He might be the guy that goes crazy. Because realistically speaking, what's funny about this is Jamari Gassett and Marcus Riley are going to draw attention. Kamar Young may draw attention. That opens up the field for guys like Nick Dixon, Kareem Burke, who have been reliable this season. Guys like that can make big-time plays. Now, also, too, guys that are hopeful that Willie Simmons said he feels they will get back is offensive lineman T.J. Lee, Anthony Dunn Jr., and Gentle Hunt, who all, by the way, did not. If they played, they didn't see much action. If they didn't, or they just didn't play. Jalen Goss is out for the remainder of the season. Willie Simmons also mentioned in his coach's show Monday night, there has to be a rotation at center between T.J. Demons and T.J. Lee. So both T.J.s, I think, will be expected to get much-needed rest. Maybe both will probably get 2 series off and then 2 series on, such as that. He also mentioned Cesar Reyes and Cardell Thomas are both nursing injuries as well this week. And he also stated Coach Henry will have to monitor a rotation. So finding the right matchups, finding the right mix on that offensive line throughout this game will be critical as far as, establishing the run, knowing what blocking assignments, knowing who's out there and what plays can you run with certain people out there. Hopefully, it doesn't matter who you put out there. You can still run certain types of tactics on offense or certain types of formations on offense. So I hopefully it really wouldn't matter, but I still expect, Cardell Thomas to play. Cesar Reyes, I'm not sure. He might need another week and then this bye week afterwards just to get healthy for the SWAC championship. But all in all, I think, and this is where I drop my score prediction, and those of you that are watching, feel free to drop yours. I'm going to go with the score of FAMU 45, Mary School 14. So I think, I honestly think, I think FAMU rolls in this one. I think it's going to be a dogfight early on, but I think FAMU will pull away and wear out Bethune-Cookman. So I think this will be the year FAMU gets 3 straight over Bethune, and we celebrate happy times. And this will be FAMU's first 10-win regular season since 1998, I think. So with that being said, that's all I got for today or for this morning. So hope you guys enjoyed. Honestly, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. There will be no post-game recap after this. We'll be back for the Running Gun podcast Wednesday night, of course, and we'll be back for the SWAC championship Saturday morning in Tallahassee. I don't know from where yet, but there will be no post-game breakdown after the Florida Classic tonight. Also, too, keep in mind a couple games to watch. Oh man, I should have talked about that as well. SWAC West race. That's right. So as follows, it's simple. I'm just gonna run through it real quick. Prairie View win over Alabama and over Alabama State. Prairie View comes back to brag for the SWAC championship. If Prairie View loses to Alabama State and let's say Alcorn wins, then Alcorn's coming. If both lose, Bayou Classic gets really interesting. Grambling has to win in order for Grambling to come to brag. So it could be anybody. We still don't know yet. Prairie View, realistically speaking, if Prairie View wants to go, Prairie View has to take care of business at home against Alabama State. Simply put. Also, too, I'm sure that show already went on. Yeah, make sure y'all go look for the No Disrespect But podcast. Ace did an episode on that as well. We just wanted to talk about that and hype my man up. But, yeah, so that's what I got for today. So, yeah, definitely going to stick with this score right here. Hopefully it holds up. If it doesn't, it's fine. We'll see. We'll see. But that's all I got for y'all today, folks. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. If you're on your way to Orlando right now, enjoy. If you're watching this Saturday morning, by all means, good morning. How are you? enjoy, or if you're watching it right now, what's up? Hope you enjoyed this video. But as always, stay safe, stay blessed, enjoy your trip to Orlando or wherever you may be, and we will see you Wednesday night.